Today is May 21st, 2025, and a year ago today, exactly at this time, I was sitting on a plane bound for Fiji because I was being forced to leave New Zealand because I couldn't get a visa to stay. And the reason for that was that I'd made a bunch of disastrous decisions. Some of the stuff wasn't in my control and I couldn't get a visa. But the real pain isn't that I had to leave New Zealand, it's that I had to leave behind my daughter. And I've been working to get a job in New Zealand for a year. I wasn't expecting to be out of the country for longer than a few months, and that's taken clearly a lot longer than I expected. But I started this channel a year ago to kind of express my workings out as how I was processing this stuff and what I was learning along the way, and sharing it with you, hopefully so you could learn something. So what have I learned in the last year? Well, first of all, things don't go as planned. One of the big things that I've had to learn is that, I've had to own my mistakes, own up, I blew it, I made these mistakes, I did some dumb things, and the result was that I had to leave my daughter, who hasn't actually been in touch with me for a year. And that hurts. That really, really hurts. That is the most painful thing. So I've had to own that mistake. I've gone through a fair bit of self-loathing as a result. I've given myself a really, really hard time. Thankfully, I'm getting over it. But I've had to say, I did this. And that's a key learning, is that, when you make mistakes, you've got to own that mistake. That doesn't mean you need to be constantly crucifying yourself for it. It's constantly giving yourself a hard time. But you need to own that mistake. You need to say to yourself, I did this. There's no get around it. You can't change what's happened. All you can hope to do is to change what happens now and going forward. And that's been the biggest learning for me, is that just learning what I've done and then hoping, aiming, working towards making sure that I don't make the same dumb mistakes again. Now, I've had a lifetime of self-sabotage, and it's taken a bit of unraveling. I've had a year to work on this. It's taken time. Am I a better person? I believe I am. Am I more thoughtful and considerate? I believe I am. But it's been painful. It's been a hell of a lot of soul searching, a hell of a lot of reflection. Quite a few tears. It's easily been the most painful, most challenging year of my life. Having to leave New Zealand, go to Fiji, where I didn't really know anybody, I had friends I was staying with for a few weeks until I got myself sorted out. Financially, it's been tough. Emotionally, it's been at times quite overwhelming. But ultimately, I've had to say I did this, and learn from that, develop from that, and realise that, like I said, you can't change the past. What you can do is change what happens now, the decisions you make in the moment, and how that affects the future. And as a result of what's happened, I believe I'm far more considerate, far more, just considerate of the decisions that I make. Am I wiser? I'd like to think so. I believe my mindset has certainly changed a lot in the last year. I've had to work an awful lot on me, an awful lot on my mind, an awful lot on how I think, and a lot of the things I believe, and a lot of the things that I believe about myself as well. Going from believing that I'm useless and stupid to believing that actually I'm smarter than that. And that's been a biggie. The first few months was really painful. I gave myself such a hard time for being here. I felt absolutely useless. I felt stupid, incompetent, worthless. But I had to acknowledge that, I've made mistakes and I'm going to need to live up to that. But just because I've made a mess, it doesn't mean I am a mess. Just because I've done dumb things doesn't mean I'm dumb. So my lesson is, my lesson from the last year, my own lesson is, all we have is now. What's happened has happened, I can't change it. Only thing I can influence is the decisions I make going forward and what I do in the moment every single day. And that's been my focus, making better decisions in the moment every single day. So, yeah, I'm here in Vanuatu. doing a visa run. It's beautiful. But I'd much rather be in New Zealand near my kids. And that's what I'm working towards. My goal is, by the end of this year, to be in New Zealand, to spend time with my youngest and now my oldest daughter, repair those relationships, and live a life. Live a life of better decisions. So yeah, got questions? Please feel free to ask in the comments below.